Well, brother, press record and run our intro.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. It's episode 3 of A Dad and Unk. I'm Dad.
I'm Unk.
And it is the end of elimination stage. Well, actually, I lied. It's the end of the opening stage. Elimination stage starts, well, for us, it would be tomorrow. Or is it Friday? I think it's Wednesday at the moment for us. So it would be starting Friday at about 2 p.m.
Does
or
it?
Thursday.
I think it starts Thursday.
It is tomorrow. Right. Well,
when I was scheduling the podcast, I was like, there is one day between these where we can get in and be relevant.
Internet. We've got to change that YouTube algorithm.
We're moving, we're quick, we're agile.
People need to know our pick'ems, and they need to know what's going on. And we'll get to those pick'ems because 50% of the Dead Nug podcast is progressing towards a diamond coin. And we'll discuss which of us managed to get that far. But before we do, elimination stage is ready, but that means the opening stage was just done, and there was fireworks everywhere. There was laughter. There was, sadness.
Pain.
There was definitely pain. Pain gaming, and also pain just in general for a lot of regions and teams. And overall, I think it was a lot of fun to watch.
It was fucking fantastic. It was like when we're talking about these pick'ems, I did way better than most people. It just sucks that I fall short right at the end in overtime of the third map of the final match.
It really was. It was right there for you. You had that. I guess it's not hidden away now. Yes, Mr. Unk has missed out on the diamond coin at the first stage. And look, I was
looking real good there for a minute.
You were. And look, I don't think that's a bad thing because a lot of people struggle to get 5. I was very lucky to get 5, I think, in the end. The best I saw, I think, was like an 8 or a 7. Seemed to be like that really high number because the pickups are a lot harder now with the 3-0s and 0-3s having to be spot on, and then everything else. Like even if a team goes through in that stage, doesn't like if you say, say Team Liquid I had as a 3-1. That doesn't count because they went 3-0. So then you're looking at other bits and pieces all over the shop. But
yeah, well, that's exactly what happened to me. Okay, so let's talk about the results of our last pick'ems.
Yes.
Okay. I had in 3-0 Mongols and Pain.
Yes.
You had in 3-0 Mongols and Furia.
Yes.
So we rated the Brazilians a lot higher, which obviously the Brazilians brought the heat. But we'll get into that.
Yeah, not the 3-0, but every single one of them did progress. So, except Imperial.
They did.
But I don't think we did add Imperial. But Imperial was my 0-3, so thank you, Imperial, for imploding in that regard. That was exactly what I thought would happen.
What I've learned to trust, actually, is my hated technology I need to trust a little more, because I was also talking shit on Fnatic.
You were,
and I needed to talk... I was too heavy on Gamer Legion, which was by far my worst pick. Because I think I just got tunnel visioned by their name. Of the teams I was hating on, because Gamer Legion far exceeded my expectations, genuinely. But I think just because also their name is very eye-catching that I got focused on hating technology.
There's always the one European CS team in there that you just really dislike, and then just the Gamer Legion trade. We'll go back to the episode 2 and we look at you really, really do not like Gamer Legion. Solely, I would say, based just on the name, and then just to continue to roll on with that.
Though also, they're just like that. I don't think they're that great of a team until this fucking tournament.
Yeah, well, I don't know, man. You said they were the 50-50, and they landed pretty much in that 50-50 area. In fact, I would say better, because I'm pretty sure overall they went 3-1. So they beat out the odds. They went 75-25.
They did do very well. But... So I had Cloud9 as well, and you were like, your 0-3s were bad. Cloud9 didn't play well, so they could have gone 0-3, honestly.
But
there was Fnatic who was an Imperial went 0-3, right?
Yes, Fnatic, who I had in advance. That was bad. That was really, really shocking for them. Just disappointing on every single level. So I don't know if that roster is going to be staying together. I very much doubt it.
I'm not
surprised. That, unfortunately. I don't know. I think I did have them in that 3-2. So if they're going to get through, it was going to be it wasn't going to be easy. But dude, how do you lose to Rare Atom? How do you... They were up as well. They were they won Inferno. They won Ancient after being down. And Inferno, they were up like 6-1 early on. Lost that. And then Vertigo, they just capitulated. Like, it was hard. It was hard to watch.
I didn't even bother watching. I'm on Hated Technology. I didn't even bother watching. I was just seeing the results and I went, that checks out.
So, Rare Adam, hey, I called that as well. They got that one win, so they weren't going to be... I did call that in the last episode, and they did it. They beat
Most
Fnatic.
people had Rare Adam and FlyQuest in 03.
Yes.
And they expected these two Asian teams just to bottom out. And Rare Adam, I didn't think they were going to go 03. I also didn't want to put them 03 because I felt like that was Hated Technology to put the only Chinese team... Like, Hated Technology beyond even my own means, to put the only Chinese team in front of a stage, in front of an audience, which was rare for these opening stages.
Yeah,
Rare
that was a good
Adam.
thing, wasn't it? The stages like actually having... We couldn't hear on broadcast, I think, for the first 2 days. They fixed it up by
I remember
end.
we were talking about it. I was like, I wish we could hear the crowd. And then the following days, they did allow you to hear the crowd. And it was hype as fuck. I thought it was really cool. The Chinese crowd surprised me because I think Chengdu, either the crowd mic wasn't great or like that crowd was just much more respectful. They kind of just clapped. This crowd got loud. I don't know. Maybe the Singapore crowd is not Singapore. Shanghai crowd is a little bit more rowdy.
They get up
a little bit more excited.
Yeah.
They were screaming. It was great. But I didn't want to put the Chinese team in 03. I also think Rare Adam had a little bit of promise, and that I thought, there were some poorly performing teams coming in. Gamer Legion, I was way off. Fnatic, you were way off.
Yep.
But then in the advancements, I had... My advancements were actually pretty fucking good. Team Liquid, I got wrong. I had them going 3-1. I expected them to bomb out one game. So I got that one wrong. Pain I had in 3-0, but if I'd had them in advance, if I'd swapped those two around, I'm Diamond Coin Track City. Okay? But I didn't. So I got that one wrong. And then we've got... Okay, let's talk about it. FlyQuest. Far exceeding expectations in the BO1s. Doing a very competitive first two maps against Team Liquid. The best team in the entire opening stage, I'd say. But completely logging off on the third map on Nuke. And nearly getting 13-0'd. They managed to pull one map out of... I think it was a pistol, wasn't it? They pulled a pistol out.
Yeah, right at the end, and that was it.
And then followed up by playing Pain, which was my 3-0. Another great team in the bracket. That one was kind of competitive, but they didn't end up pulling through. And I think that just shattered their confidence, because when they're in elimination game against MIBR, another team I have to advance and another team I thought would do quite well, they just weren't there. There was like no team cohesion. That was tragic. And I don't think it's that. I think they were just exhausted. I think like going that high, far above expectations, and then crashing down like that just broke their spirits. I think it was just a mental thing.
It's just like it literally runs like clockwork with Australia. It's like qualifier for the major RMR. You win your opening matches, ruin everyone's pick'ems, get eliminated, leave the major, and just keep repeating every time.
It was heartbreaking.
Until the end of time. It was, especially when the other series was so like that game yesterday where we watched. It was just shocking. I actually had to just stop. It was like 13-4, 13-5, never in the maps at all. 8-4 at both halves, and just completely dumpstered. Full credit to MIBR. They were clinical. That roster.
Oh yeah,
MIBR young as well.
And Pain both played incredible CS. FlyQuest had to respond with incredible CS, but they were just sloppy. Like they just the teamwork we saw in those first games had disappeared by then. I think they were just playing based purely on like, I need to make a play for the team, and getting sloppy about it. There was like those pushes that Dexter was doing on like Nuke outside earlier in the tournament. Now were like, they were Hail Marys. They were like him trying to pull a rabbit out of a bag and just get something done. And it wasn't working because he's trading like 1-for-1 when they're already down 2 people. And then leaving like Alien in a clutch. And it's like, oh.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. I mean, you're playing Brazilian teams who are basically known for those players as well. You just getting like every single one of these players on paper are getting beaten in a 50-50 duel, like pretty much all the time. If we're going off at least
when they were
roles.
on early, and they beat Cole. Cole weren't playing well, but no one expected them to beat Cole as one of the top teams in the world. Sometimes they're in a shocking state. We'll talk about that. But when they're on the similar thing. And I was like, nah, FlyQuest, I think, have a pretty good chance of taking Cole. And everybody thought I was insane.
I'll give you credit. You did pick that one at the start we went through. But again, it just looks like for FlyQuest, they're just best of one merchants. Like you win your opening best of ones, which, full credit. You get to the 2-0. They played incredibly well in both those games. They're like against good opponents. I mean, like, both of the teams that they beat were, again, they were in the same position at the end as well, where they were trying to get to the last game, because Big played complexity.
Big was playing incredible.
Yeah, and FlyQuest destroyed them. That was on Nuke. That's why when we got Nuke, which was picked by MIBR, a lot of people were like, okay, the desk completely changed their minds because they had MIBR winning, but then they're like, oh, okay, do we think this could, because FlyQuest
was really
Nuke
funny.
looked really good in the
The
first
analysts were
one.
like, MIBR is such a promising team, like FlyQuest, like they had a good opening, but like they're falling off now. And the moment Nuke was in the veto, they go, oh no, FlyQuest take this because Nuke is
did
incredible.
everyone just have a complete fucking lapse of did their brains shut down? Because we lost to Liquid 13-1 on Nuke, the day, literally 2 days before. Hello?
It was really funny. I'm like, I don't know if that Nuke is great. I think they just had a good Nuke game.
Yeah, and I don't believe Big are a massive Nuke team as well, at least from what I can think of.
All
Nuke's
I can
one of
think
those weird maps sometimes.
Is that FlyQuest were playing well when they had good, when they felt like they were working with a team and they had their head in the game, and they did not have their head in the game in those last maps. And so what you're hoping is that they can turn that around mid-game, which needs an incredible clutch. And there was a few incredible clutches. There was some good, was it a 1v4 yesterday? Clutch? I don't know. But there were some glimpses of good play, but then you see things like, was it Vexite or Liaz died with a molly in hand when they were post-plant? Or died with a molly unused post-plant on Inferno.
Or jumping across, this is Inferno, it's jumping across the CT spawn area around B, just for
Ali has the bomb
reason.
And peeks CT lane with the bomb in hand. Oh, what are you doing, bro?
I think
it was heartbreaking.
The team's done enough, I think, that they'll probably renew them into next year, because it's there. There is the pieces are there. I still think Alistair needs to be dropped. Love the man, very good energy, and you need that in a team. But he just he's so inconsistent. It just drives me insane, man.
I think he was pretty good this tournament. But one thing about the energy, did you feel like their energy just wasn't there?
Well, yeah. I mean, they play off. Again, energy won't be there if you're not winning, and they just never got into...
No, even when they were winning. The game when they won against Big, it cut to them to, getting off the computers, and usually Ali would be jumping up going, yes! And everyone would be, smiling and dapping each other up. They were just kind of, getting up and, shaking each other's hands and just, wrapping up their keyboards, and it was, they felt very low energy even when they were succeeding.
I think they were just in shock that they'd actually won 2 games in a row.
The pressure was mounting. They're like, oh, fuck, now we have expectations
now we
to succeed.
Australian team with expectations, and then
they win the first map against Team Liquid, and they're like, no, this was the worst case scenario.
That is insane to think we literally were 1 map away from being elimination stage. But look, overall, they overperformed in my eyes, which is a good thing. They can learn from it. I think
it hurts more because they had that good start rather than having a early failure and then a comeback.
Yeah, I think someone pointed out it was probably a good idea. They need to get some sort of psych coach in for them, because that's 100%. That's the next stage. That's the next change here, because just the moments where it's they need to find that thing, they just miss it. It's not by much. Again, there is bits there. I think Dex is a good IGL. I like Inns is that big fragger. There's a good chance Inns gets taken by someone. Wouldn't be surprised. Liaz plays the lurk roles incredibly well. Vexite, young gun. I think that the positions they put him in, fantastic. He's like that second just behind Inns. And then it's just Ali. And I can't see a world where they continue him as the AWPer. I think I genuinely think they do what Talon do and go out and fight a European AWPer because I feel like they're just shooting themselves in the foot. And look, it's no disrespect to Alistair as a player. He can have good games, and that's the thing, he can, but it is just inconsistent, and it's been going on for way too long. Like, sorry, man.
Welcome, FlyQuest Monacy.
Yeah, no. Easy.
They bankrupt the company to get the best AWPer in the world.
Look, sometimes you got to do it. Or you could just get Amaranth to invest in your org, like Wildcard, who again they just surprise. They keep surprising.
Well, this was the fairy tale story of the two fairy tale teams from NA region and EU region, Passion and Wildcard, irrespectively. Reverse those as to where they come from. Both being young gun teams who make this amazing play to get into the major and end up facing each other in elimination in the final match. The final match of the opening stage. And I think everyone agreed that this was like a 50-50.
Oh yeah, no, this was a complete toss-up. And
it ended up being
itself, it showed it was such a good series. Could have gone either way. And in the end, Wildcard get through. I don't think anyone's upset by it because, again, these two teams... It seems relatively similar. I think the end was definitely just that experience where you've got Stanislaw as that IGL.
And you could tell those nerves were getting to Passion as the game went on because they just needed to close it out on Ancient towards the end and they just got sloppy. They just got so aggressive and desperate to get that final B plant and just win the round and have won the game. That they just let them catch. They got really sloppy, and that's what lost them the game, and that does come down to experience.
That, where they got out on B side, A side for completely free. Got to play.
Oh, that was so funny. The crowd starts screaming.
They got one kill holding. The retake from Wildcard was insane. Dude. The fact they got that. Just
Wildcard stack B. Passion just walk onto A site, the crowd's going fucking insane, and then Wildcard just walk back onto site, and slowly, there's 3 people temple on A site, and each one of them just one by one pops out the window and gets shot in the head. It was insane.
They just, the big moments stand, and it hurts more for Game Legion, because that's, not Game Legion, Passion. Well, Passion lost to Game Legion in the previous day in the 2-1. So if they'd won that, they would have gone through. So 2 opportunities, and both map 3s are on Ancient, and they lost both as well. So it hurts, but this team definitely has a lot of upside. I mean, look, the average age is 19.
Yeah, they're real young. And they've been living in a house together, scrimming, for the last year.
Yeah, so this is only going to reinforce, I think, for anyone who's got investments in them to think, we will run this together.
I think it's a team that's looking great. I think Jambo as an AWPer is incredible, and I felt so vindicated that when I went and watched, I think it was Launder's Pick'ems after we recorded last week, he said the exact same thing I said about Passion, and I was like, bro, I might be onto something here. Anyway, so I did not I got a 4.
Yeah, so Pick'ems. Passion actually, all that talk, they cost you your 1. Not mine,
it really
though.
did come down to that.
5, baby. Hey,
you were cheesing after FlyQuest lost because you're and my BR was the last one I needed, baby.
Yeah, I was yes, we're through for the Diamond Coin. It's still live, but also FlyQuest going out. That was damn.
I had so many opportunities. And the fucked up thing is if I just thought for a second that hey, Liquid are just going to 3-0 this shit. Liquid are a great team. Don't doubt them. Don't do what the same thing I feel about G2 is they throw one game but then they lock in for the rest. Just let Liquid have the 3-0 and then throw pain in the advance. I'm fucking set, but coulda, woulda, shoulda.
I think your 0-3 was more your problem there. Blind Rage and Cloud9 just getting that win on the best of one.
I don't know. I still hate Gamer Legion. I don't enjoy watching them as a team. And ever since I saw the name of the team, I'm just like, Gamer Legion.
Dude, Gamers Unite, man. What can I say? They pulled through. You never doubt European gamers. That's all I got to say.
Gamers, we are Legion. Hey.
The other teams who push a big beat Complexity. So Complexity went down 0-2. Thought they were gone. They managed to fight all the way back up. Beat Imperial Cloud9. Honestly, that series against Big was also a banger as well. Like let's see the last two as well. Like close maps. Complexity had chances. Holzerk popped off. This was not Holzerk's fault at all. Like the Ancient game, you could say yes, because he was their lowest rated overall. They lost Ancient, but Anubis 19-10 with a lead 21-12. Fantastic.
I'd like to think that Holzerk heard what we were saying about him being a tilter, and he locked in.
Yeah. Oh, everyone was scared. Like commentators were talking about it as well. Like all the analysts, like everyone knows, but it was not his fault that they lost us to. He went 25-16 and completely locked in. But then the next closest lead, 16-15, that's fine. But JT, Grim, and Floppy were their kills combined was one less than Holzerk, and their ratings were like 0.63, 0.61, 0.5. Like,
yeah, it was shocking.
You're never going to win that. And full credit to Big. Again, I like this squad. Like, it's relative. There's some young pieces. You've got Tabson, who's been there for quite a while. Like, they kind of know who they are and how to play. And I do like that with them. And, like, JDC, I liked him when he was on mouse. Didn't quite fit in what they were chasing. And Crimbo is really good. Like, I think a lot of people don't quite understand, like, how
I think I heard some, like, people saying, like, Crimbo's worth picking up for a larger team.
It could. I mean, he's from the big academies, come through on the other side. Someone could chase him there, but, I mean, if they get through somehow at the next stage...
If G2 need a rifler to replace Nico, would they look there?
Possibly.
Put him in Nico's role alongside Hunter?
It depends if they, like, that's a whole nother discussion, but that would be dependent on whether they want to replace Nico with someone who's similar to Nico, or they bring in a newer player.
If they did anything, they'd probably move Maubs to Nico's roles, since Maubs currently playing Anchor, whereas he's more of a star rifler.
But then do you want to take Maubs out of those roles, because he's playing very well on them?
I think he could play well anywhere, because he did the same role, the roles that Nico's playing right now on M80. He was doing what Lake is doing.
But this is the fun stuff. This is like the team chemistry and everything. You change one player, while they might be better on paper. This is like the problem with that Falcons had. You can't just throw a bunch of like highly rated players. This is not
the problem Falcons had. We can do an hour-long episode about the problems Falcons had.
It's in the sense you can't throw a bunch of highly rated players like into a 5-stack team and say, that's enough. Because like there's roles for each individual, and if I think Maubs can play a lot of different rifler rounds very well, because he has proven that he can do that. I think I think that was the question when they brought him on to G2. I mean, we're getting ahead of ourselves here. That's the problem when they brought him on to G2. They said, is he really going to play anchor roles? Because he is a star rifler. He fills the same roles as Nico, and he plays the same spots as Nico on every map. Yeah, and like it's taken him a while as well, because I don't think it was definitely instant, but he's been there for almost
It's map dependent years. By far, yeah.
Yeah, but I think overall they've been
Mab's been there for 2 years.
Yeah. No, not Malbs. Crimbo on Big.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Malbs is what? He's been like 9 months.
I'm about to say, like, time dilation, that's crazy.
G2, that's a
He's only 6 months.
Have about, like, what you would do with Nico. Like, again, as you said, Malbs, do you find out someone who's exactly like Nico? Do you find the other roles? Do you switch Malbs into that? But
welcome G2 Lake. M80 just becomes G2.
M80 just is the breeding ground for putting...
M80 becomes G2 Academy. Yes. Like how Mouse is FaZe Academy. M80 is now G2 Academy. And becomes an NA team. That'd be crazy.
That would be.
Anyway.
The other teams that got through, we didn't really talk about. Furia. They screwed everyone's 3-0s. But
not mine.
I'll be credit. Furia, they bounced back after the initial loss to Gamer Legion, which I think most people were pretty, let's say, surprised by. The teams they beat, that was like Imperial 13-11, that didn't fill me with a lot of confidence. Wildcard pushed them all the way, and Wildcard have moved on, so I guess fair enough. And then Big 2-1. So they've beaten the teams that are literally just below them, which doesn't fill me a whole lot of confidence, but It's maybe you don't put 0-3 in Brazilian CS. Again, it's up and down. And then Mongols and Liquid were very just like, they did what they had to do.
Mongols was the safest pick of the whole tournament. Everyone was like, these guys, easy 3-0, don't even have to discuss it.
Yeah.
It just happened. It was automatic.
They look so good. I love this Mongols team. I
genuinely
think they get through to the finals. But, I guess, do we want to talk about that now? We've gone through all the teams, again, and Liquid. Hey, Australian CS, he's still there, Mr. Justin Savage. He destroyed the dreams of FlyQuest.
The JKS interview after they defeat FlyQuest, and he's talking to Banks, and they're like, a bit awkward, and it's because FlyQuest team walked past the interview stage as they're heading back to like their green room, and they apparently they all like with cheeky smiles stuck the finger up to Justin, and he's there laughing, and he's like, awkward.
Look, Aussie boys, you got to have the banter there, and it always will be. I
think FlyQuest had if FlyQuest mental hadn't created, they 100% are to the next stage, and I don't think they make it far at all the next stage. It would have just been exciting to see. But I feel like the same sensation of like crushing defeat would have came down, even if that it would have been like, they had such an good opening stage, and then they fall short as soon as they get to the next stage. It would have been a similar narrative. I'm just happy that they played well against good teams when they did, and let's hope that next year they come back with a mental coach and improve, because I think they have glimpses of a great team. Maybe there are some changes that need to happen there. But I think when they play well, they play incredibly well. They just are so inconsistent and so prone to the pressure mounting.
I think it's definitely they're in a lot better space they were before Atlanta. The Atlanta win, and then these results have definitely been a plus. So, new year, maybe we'll see some more upward trend, which is exactly what we want. But we have to leave FlyQuest and everyone else behind and focus towards what is now the final stage before Champions, which is the Legends stage. We are here. Actually, is it called Legends stage or Elimination stage? I think there's like a mix of things at this point of what it's actually
I think
called.
The Legends teams are the ones that skip straight to it, but this is Elimination stage.
Yeah, it's Elimination stage, which used to be called Legends stage. Like, I don't know. It really doesn't make a difference.
It's all nonsense.
It is. It's all utter woke nonsense. Changing things for no reason. Which is why best of 3 should exist in all of these. But, of course, we have to start with the best of 1s, round 1 and 2. 8 teams can qualify into the final Champions stage. And, well, before the start of the show, we have put together our little results. The majors.im website, which I have to say, fantastic website for all people who need to try and get their pick'ems together. And I got to say, we are both fairly similar with what we did. Some slight changes. And also, from what you were saying about Mouse, are you going to change that? Are you going to change that late here? Because you were saying G2. Like, are you going to back your own thoughts?
Well, how about I fire up Counter-Strike and we do our pick'ems and we run ourselves through it, okay? And then we'll jump over to yours.
Easy. That's great because I would have downloaded 1.26 gigabyte updates. So that's great. I did not see that pop up. Thanks, Counter-Strike. Appreciate that.
Well, they were fixing ragdolls and they replaced Lukowski's sticker with the substitutes, or the person that got substituted out for Lukowski as per the rules. They forgot about that. Did you see that?
Wait, who got subbed out?
So there's a rule that the team you submit originally for the major is who you get stickers. Who gets signature stickers.
Right. Wait,
but they substituted out a player for Lukowski.
Wait, which team was this?
MIBR, I believe.
Did they make it? Oh, yep. Yeah, they did.
MIBR player sticker, autographed by Lukowski, was replaced with the Burns 4N Burnsen. I don't know how to pronounce it.
Oh, because he got benched. Oh, because was this before the... Because he's been there for 2 months. Surely that's enough
The team you submit for the IRMRs is the team that gets stickers.
Oh, yeah, they're right. We'll have to open the stickers for this stage as well, since they're in now for those ones. But we'll start with yours. You, at least what I've got in front of me, but you might change some stuff here. So I know this should be interesting, to say the least.
Mm-hmm. I believe in Mao's supremacy. I think Mao's on great form. Their RMR was fantastic. And you can't doubt Jimmy. You can't doubt Jimmy, I've decided. Now,
you've come round to me, mate, because I remember from the first episode, I said Mouse. I was confident all the way, and you were a bit steady on that, but it's good to see you've jumped on board the Mouse.
Here's the wrench thrown into the works. Mouse struggle on stage.
Ooh.
But they did incredibly well in Chengdu. Remember, it was that FaZe Mao's grand final on Chengdu.
Yeah,
and I think Mao's do better on Chinese things. Mao's have a lot of Chinese fans.
Do you reckon this is their home away from home?
I think this might be their time to just ace that shit. And along with that, I mean, they're one of the best teams in the world right now, and I believe that JL is going to pop the fuck off Na'Vi 3. I think it's easy. Okay?
Beautiful.
Now, I was talking up G2 and not doubting teams like that, but I think if you follow the G2 train, they end up fighting Mao's here. If Mao's are going on track for a 3-0 and G2 are on track for a 3-0, they end up fighting Mao's, and G2, I think, are a little weaker against Mao's. They've had some back and forths, but
it's
I think
it's pretty even. It's a tough one, but even.
It is tough, but I think Mao's take that. I think maybe who knows? Who knows what we're saying? But I think G2 are an easy advance. Obviously, you'd be surprised if they don't. That team is so dead. Nico's gone the next day.
They're blowing it. They're blowing it up anyway. Oh, one person's leaving. But
one we know of.
Or do you want to keep going with the 3-1-3-2, or do you want your 0-3s were your problem last time?
0-3. This is tough because you're looking at these teams down here of which ones do you expect to not perform in this environment? And the easy choice to point out here is that Wildcard is a huge outlier in this crowd.
Yeah.
I don't know. How are you feeling about Wildcard heading into this stage?
It's a tough one. I feel like every time everyone sort of doesn't respect them, it comes back to bite them a little. But maybe that I think we had this sort of discussion where last stage was a lot of the guys that got through. It's oh, you're in grade 6, you're top of the pack in primary school, and now you're walking in all the new teams, especially the wild card and the big and everyone who was got through the 3-2s. You're year 7 now, and now you've got it. You're battling the year 12s.
Yeah,
and it's a tough ask. Not impossible, but the way
that
I have
opening game is against FaZe, and I don't see them beating FaZe.
But FaZe are notoriously edgy when it comes to majors and best of. FaZe would never do it clean. So this is I still have FaZe winning this.
If there's any chance for upset in the opening BO1s, that's where it is.
I was also going to say G2 Mongols.
Is that? Yeah, maybe. I don't know how to rate Mongols in this situation because this was a very similar thing. Was it in the last major or was it? Maybe it was the following Pro League where Mongols well overperformed, and people weren't quite didn't quite know how to approach how far can this team go. They were the outsiders in that situation.
This team is top 10. I think, at least when it comes to mine, that we're making it through. But we're on yours at the moment. So, what else have we got pick 'em wise here? You're 0-3. Are you putting a wild card?
I kind of feel I don't. 3D Max are also a bit of an outlier for me. I'm not entirely sure how to feel about them. They were playing very well in the RMRs, but
what about Game Legend? Do you want to put them back?
I'm not falling for that mistake again. I'm going to hate them from a distance. Also, this is so tragic.
Yeah, look who's got those. Oh, what's that one right above you there? Yeah, that looks nice. Shout out to Two Tap Toady. Who's also
what were Tony's picks? What's he doing? What the hell?
He's popping off.
MIBR, I think, are maybe, I don't know. They're playing well, but I don't know if they're playing make it to the next stage well. But we're talking about 0-3s. This is always a tough bracket. I think I got to trust my gut and say Wildcard, you had a good run, but you're going against some tough teams. And then beyond that, yeah, just going to do that, I think. I feel like that's fair.
Reasonable.
And then continuing on to the people that I believe are going to get through with G2, I think Vitality is obviously an easy pick. Spirit, I have my own problems with, but they do play well. They clawed to get here, defeating Nip, the juggernaut that is Nip, the David versus Goliath battle that was against NIP. And then
that leaves you with 3.
And this is the tough one. Like, who do you think's going to come down through here and work their way up, or who do you think is going to struggle along the top? I think Liquid are playing incredibly well. You can't doubt that. They get through easy. And then this is tough. You want to say FaZe, but again, they do struggle sometimes. They've had a rougher second half of the year. They had a great start to CS2, but I think they eventually pull through most of the time. And then who do you throw in for the end? It could be Mongols. It could be Big. That's what it's between for me. Mongols and Big. Maybe I switch it up. I gotta give it to the Asian team. I gotta give it to an Asian team with the Asian major.
Hey, you got to look at the way it looks like now. I don't mind it. In fact, I would say it's eerily similar to mine.
I'm running it.
Or pretty close, actually. But yeah, I think that's pretty reasonable overall.
Silver coin.
Yeah, you got that silver coin, baby. Let's go. The man is cooking. Dude, that's gonna look so good on Diamond, you know?
Yeah. Awesome.
I don't think anyone had Vatican 0-3. I really don't know where people thought Imperial going through. I'm just saying. Like, okay, I get Rare Adam's side, but I'm just saying.
Also, let's just quickly touch on it. VP, also, the teams I hated on were Gamer Legion, Fnatic, VP, and Cloud9.
So, 3 out of 4.
I think Cloud9 I hated on a little less, so I've been saying I have a 66% accuracy on calling these things.
Which is that's a number.
Yep. I'm pretty good.
Definitely a number, and we like numbers.
And I think I was in the opening stage of my opening game picks. I think I got 6 out of 8 correct.
That's also epic.
So let me pick your lottery numbers.
Yeah, mostly the same. Like we don't have a massive difference between us. So we're also the same. I had Mouse and Na'Vi in that 3-0 advanced. Na'Vi seems the more logical or like the easier one for around there. Mouse kind of have to upset G2, but still have faith there. Next 3 of the 3-1 are the G2, Vitality, and Spirit.
This is sounding very similar.
It's sounding ridiculously similar. And then from those 3, it was actually, we might even be like completely the same because you changed a bit there, but Liquid.
I swapped Mongols. I decided Mongols have a good chance.
Liquid, Mongols, and FaZe as the 3. I think, are we literally just copying each other at this point?
I think it is the same. I didn't have yours up on my screen, so I want you to know that was that was incidental. My switch up on Mongols. That just makes it
funnier. Look, I get it, man. Like when you're on your way to a diamond coin and you're not, it's fine. You copy the master. It makes sense. But we might both be sleeping on Heroic and 3D Max. I think.
Yeah, that's
probably
fair.
More Heroic. 3D Max maybe. Again, like this is these teams where it's like it's Europe CS, so they're going to be good no matter what. But just the way
I feel about specifically Heroic is that they're kind of a sleeper team where they're at every tournament and they do okay, but you never see them make it to playoffs. Never make it. They never make it to playoffs. They never make any huge plays that everyone talks about or like a great run that everyone's like, this is such a hopeful thing for the team. But they never bomb out. So they're just kind of jobbing it. And you're like, Kixan, he's great. Oh, Nerds, he's great. And it's just like, you never, beyond that, it's like, okay, they're just there.
They're wholesome. Remember that.
But they could always surprise. You know, maybe they kick out FaZe and you're like, whoa.
So then my 0-3. Now, originally, from what I've got, I definitely think Wildcard. And maybe that comes back to haunt me a bit because I did Wildcard last time, 0-3.
We could be doing to
Of
Wildcard
us.
what people did to Rare Atom.
But this could be controversial because the sort of because at least the games I get down to 0-2 is Big versus Wildcard, and I think Big win that. The other one is Furia and MIBR, and this I'm not sure about. I initially was thinking Furia win, but you know what?
I think it is a coin toss.
I'm sorry, Furia. I think this would actually be good for them. I think they
and you've
need
got to throw in a little spice just in case things get interesting and we have a chance to be different.
Yeah, just to get we literally would be exactly the same if you swapped your one we had Big for Mongols. So you know what? I'm going to swap my Furia and MIBR. I'm going to say Furia goes 0-3.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I reckon we are going to be seeing myself with these diamond picks continuing towards.
I think you
that
actually
beautiful
will
coin.
get diamond coin.
I reckon I will. Hey, it was never in doubt. And there is the silver coin as well for myself. Beautiful. We'll have to wait and see, though. We are there. That is what we are thinking. We're literally thinking of each other. I mean, look, when you're good mates like us, it makes sense. It
We're
just
locked
makes
in.
sense. Yeah. I guess we have to open legend stickers now as well.
Yippee!
All right. Which should I open first?
What does your heart say?
You know, my heart says because these are technically the most boring overall. I'd say.
Yeah.
Like none of these golds be worth much. Maybe a hollow. Hollows always look nice.
I think the hollows look pretty good.
I think it's just the borderless side of things. They don't. That doesn't look great, which is sad, which is very saddening. But hey, we're gonna grab ourselves a nice little vitality glitter.
That's not bad.
That's not bad. Vitality. Probably going to be moving on to the champions bit as well. Although I was going to say no, I did get one. Did I open that later? I don't even remember.
I think you might open that on your own time.
No, I think I did. Yeah, I just
the
felt like
first
a dog
four, I
dog.
believe, are the ones you opened on the podcast.
Yeah, this one I had just left over. So gamble off stream, it means. And then I don't even know what the signatures are for this one. Oh, it's like the Navi one was like gold. Oh, hey Dexter. That looks like arse. Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. Well, those are my two. Gambling is very fun.
All right. Logo.
Gold G2. Oh, I saw a gold fly by there. That means you're definitely going to get it. Hey,
Little
it's the
robot
boy.
guy.
It's the perfect world.
There was a great thing in the RMRs where, like the animation playing between segments plays whatever, and it comes back, and Richard Lewis is like, "I love that little guy. I love him."
He loves
And
it.
it's just like, thanks, Richard. That's so cool.
Thank you.
I'm happy you enjoy him.
You know, that's great. On you, Richard. All right.
Still, I'll take a Nico glitter. That's
Gold
pretty good.
frozen. Hey, yeah, you take that. I mean, this will be his last one on G2 as well.
True. Oh, invest, guys.
Invest billions.
Don't do
Damn.
that.
Frozen gold was right there as well. That could be.
I put it on my Blue Gem 5.7.
Do not do that.
This thing's $40.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah, exactly. Do not do. All right, so that is Pick'ems. That is gambling.
That's Pick'ems. That's gambling. We're here to talk about now Amaranth.
Oh yes, the controversy. Ooh.
So I heard a little bit about this, but I imagine you know a little bit more. So what happened?
Well, so after Wildcard, won their, I believe it's their 1-2 game. They got through, and everyone's like, "Oh yeah, we're cooking here." Now, throughout the stages, a lot of the media outlets have been basically saying that it's Amaranth's team, which is fair in a sense. So Amaranth, it was back in I think the middle of this year. I'd have to check the exact timing because we want to make sure that we're right on these ones.
We're accurate and fair journalists here at Dadnunk.
Yes, exactly. So joined in June 20th. Basically bought a significant ownership, like stake in the country in the one here. And you know, it was for Wildcard. I tell you this, I see it as a no-brainer. Like you're literally getting a celebrity in the Twitch space, has 14 million followers on a bunch of different platforms.
Yeah,
it's money. It's putting in towards the team. It's a big investment, and esports is very tumultuous.
There's a lot of Twitch streamers these days that are co-owners or entire owners of esports teams. So this isn't like a new thing, but as far as CS goes, this is currently the most successful team that has a streamer backing, I'd say.
It is. Because, so Wildcard, for people that don't know, they have a Rainbow Six Siege, men's and women's team, they have a Counter-Strike 2 team. And, the Wildcard, they hadn't really done massive amount. No one really expected them, maybe a few, but to get, like, at least to the opening stage of the major. But the fact they're in the elimination stage, I think is still wild. And, everyone's up and about. Everyone's enjoying themselves. Everyone's having a wonderful time. Clap your hands. And Mr. Sonic CS, after one of the news publications, let's say, had a little bit to talk about. They had a chat.
He was a little upset. Well, he's just commented that they'd referred to it as Amaranth's Counter-Strike team, right? And he said you could just say Wildcard.
Yeah.
To which Amaranth responded to his, or quote, tweeted him saying, "Don't bite the hand that feeds."
Yes. Basically, it was don't bite the hand that feeds you. I cheered the team on a DreamHack when the majority of folks was sitting on the M80 side. Journos dropping my main to reach a wider audience is part of my value add. Now, there is context to this because when Dexterra made the initial article, there was, let's say, there's a problem because what happened was they actually edited what it looked like.
Yeah, they went back and changed the title, didn't they?
Yes. They didn't have Wildcard in there. So that's why Sonic said it. He's like, or you could just say Wildcard. And then Amaranth has seen this afterwards. And Sonic, after she said that, Sonic has basically said, you didn't see their post before they edited it. They didn't even mention Wildcard. It wasn't a jab at you, so don't take it as such.
Yeah, which is perfectly fair. But obviously she thought he was saying, like, don't reduce our team to being Amaranth, we are Wildcard, or,
yeah,
we're not Amaranth's team, we're Wildcard.
All this does is make Amaranth look like a cunt.
Yeah.
If we're being perfectly honest. The end, it's
I think beyond this, there was another issue where Amaranth was apparently on Owner's stream watching the Wildcard game yesterday, and she was a bit drunk, and she was making some comments, I think she was trying to make jokes, but that were getting taken very poorly by the CS crowd, where she was saying, like, when a guy lost a clutch by dying in a molly or something, that she was going to fire him. And apparently she didn't quite understand, like, how the team... Well, look, maybe she was trying to make jokes, but they weren't getting picked up. Like, she apparently, like, Ona said, the guy standing behind your team is your coach, and she said, I thought that was the tech support guy. Things like that. And they were getting taken poorly, and people were saying, like, why is she even own a CS team? I think she might have just been drunk on stream and been making poorly taken jokes.
I think half of it's all just misunderstandings at the end of the day. And I don't think she has any ill will towards the players, but, it just doesn't... It's not a great look, basically. Like, you can say, I'm the streamer, I'm not going to, like, change who I am personality-wise. But in the end, esports is a business, and the way you are presented to people while she's bringing new people in... if you act like that for CS fans, they are not going to support you, which is, that's sort of half-half. Like, you have to be careful. You can bring in new fans, but you got to remember you're coming into a scene where you might not have that much knowledge, and you're basically just bad-mouthing a bunch of your team's players. At least that's what it looks like to everyone.
It's not a good look when a team that's new to people and gaining fans because they're succeeding is then also caught up in controversy because one of the reasons they gain notoriety is arguing with the players publicly on Twitter and making jokes about firing them if they lose clutches.
Yeah. Which, again, this would be completely fine if the original comment hadn't been made. If she was saying that and none of this had happened, then that's just...
So what we're saying is Dexerto is the issue.
Or journalism. It's clickbait. It's the clickbait thing. You're pissing people off. Your website is just driving for views. That is.
And we hate views at the Dan Nunk podcast.
Podcast is silly. Don't worry. Once we get onto Spotify, the 2 views we'll get for that.
Let's go. If anybody knows how to set up an RSS feed, please contact me. My email address is. I'm not.
His email address is. Was there anything else we wanted to discuss? There wasn't exactly.
Oh, is there anything left over from
big
the
news?
Well, there's not really much big news. No big team changes has come out of anyone that has dropped out of
not
opening stage, I think.
particularly, unless you want to, unless you think Mythic.
That'll be fine.
Yeah, that'll be right.
It's a boomer streamer team. They're fine. They're chilling.
No one. They don't care what they do. No.
Flom will post another premiere is hell video. And the world will keep spinning.
They're cooking, they're cooking with Flom's cooking with the views.
I like the Flom YouTube.
Yeah.
I like the Flom YouTube. That's it.
I like the Flom YouTube.
I like my suitcase. You know that one?
What the hell?
Baron Trump. I like my suitcase. Anyway, that's gonna be a dead. That's already a dead meme. Sorry, Baron Trump has grown up with YouTube. He knows all the YouTubers and stuff.
He knows game. Maybe they'll. But
he knows game, but apparently he is preparing himself. The reason they don't bring him out in public is because he's preparing himself to be the next big asshole of the Trump family.
Oh no, bro! I want Baron to get into to Donald's ear and get him to invest in Esports org.
Dude, Trump Esports would go crazy.
Nah, but who would
so
Trump?
hateable.
Who would Trump? Because he'd have to make it a North American org. Who would he pick for a
American Falcons?
Oh wait, does he make one or does he invest in one? Because if he had to invest in a team,
he would make his own, or he would buy one, but he'd claim it he made it, and then.
Ladies and gentlemen, Baron has come forward with me. We are going to be making the American Eagles the greatest and the best team in all of American esports. It's going to be patriotic. Only American citizens on this team. We're going to bring back the Boston 2018 Major Squad. That is what's going to happen. We're going to relive the glory days. The U.S. back on top in CS2.
Tarek walks out there.
Tarek's
Tarek's wearing this gaudy golden jersey, and Trump walks up. He's like, "I heard you're an immigrant. You've made it. You've the American dream.
You're an immigrant.
You're from Turkey, right? But you love it here in America. You love America, don't you, Tarek?"
They call him. He used to be peanut brain, and now he's big brain. He's watermelon brain, Tarek, and we like that. We like Turek. They got him Tarek now.
Tarek, I've heard you love cereal. I heard you love American-made cereal. You eat it while you're playing Counter-Strike, an American-made game in Seattle. Is that right? We're the greatest.
Just
Why is Trump doing the interview of his players? He would be sitting on the other side of the room.
He'd be introducing them all as well. No, he'd introduce them, and then Baron would be basically.
Baron's the coach, dude. Let's go. Can we? This is there's enough meme magic that if there was a ball rolling, you could put it into Trump's head that this is how you get the youth.
Yeah,
it could almost work.
It's like how he's drinking Prime. It's the major sponsor is Prime, Logan Paul, KSI, big fans. They're going to be
so funny
and dumping.
He buys Stewie and Tarek and all them, and Stewie's just he paid me a lot of money.
He buys he buys the all stars of the American teams, and puts them together because the American guys, they're just be bro, they're offering me millions. I can't say no. I gotta play for the American Eagles.
Gotta do it. This is such a good idea. Can we get this to Baron, please? Yeah. Does anyone know Baron's private TikTok account? Can we tweet it at him?
This is gonna be the Dallas Cowboys equivalent for CS with Jerry Jones style fucking running it. It's they'll have a fan base, and then everyone else will fucking despise them.
But it's exactly what they It's American Falcons. Yeah. It's just spending money to buy the best players across the world.
American Eagles, because the American Bald Eagles esports.
The Golden Eagles.
I love Eagles. They fly high like a CS team all the way to Valve rank #1.
The Valve rank is rigged. Why is it an American team on top of the ranking? We're #1 in the world.
Europe's not even real.
We're #1 on HLTV.
It's not a real place. I've been there. It smells. It's dark. It's
the woke
really
liberals
cold.
at Valve. They don't like it. They don't like us.
Under Joe Biden, there were no presidential esports teams. I'm going to change that.
The viewer attention graph for this video is fucking great.
This is the terrible bit because well, it's good because no one's ever going to get to this part anyway.
If you sat through the whole Trump makes a CS team bit, please leave an eagle in your comment.
Oh fuck.
Holy fuck. It's like when I was editing the TF2 video. I had to cut the 5 minutes where you did like a Trump annoying orange moment. We just sat invisible as spies over the water on one of the maps and you're just going, I'm kind of an annoying orange. Hey, Apple. Hey, Apple. Knife.
Why does the annoying orange not have an esports team? That's another great question. These are all fantastic questions. Guys, who would your OG like YouTuber be an esports team? Tobuscus esports team.
Tobuscus esports.
Bro, he'd react to the team. He'd do the video thing. He did the epic win of failed.
He starts like voicing the players as they appear on screen.
Okay, guys, gotta get you over to B-side. We're getting pushed. Well.
Oh,
we got through the important bit. We got through the important news, and now we've let the demons out. I'm just thinking back on the opening stage. I'm thinking about like what my hopes were going in and what the results were. All I could think is I hope FlyQuest come back next year, better than ever. Maybe they make some changes, or at least we see the chance for some of these players, possibly a Vexite, getting picked up for a European team, perhaps.
They're going. I know where they're going. They're going to the American Eagles.
FlyQuest, an American org that owns an Australian CS team, just moves them to America and rebrands.
Baron, I know which team you need to buy.
They don't even have to change half the branding because it's still time to fly.
True. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. Donald, buy up FlyQuest right now.
How long until we cave in and I play Valorant for the first time?
It happens. It happens at one of during the off season when we've got.
I'm seeing how long I can go without touching it.
We got to touch it at least once.
We've got to jump on CS. We've got to play some CS this week.
True. We've been talking too much about it. We haven't been actually playing it.
Get on train. I can't wait till the major's over and we get train in the map pool. Please. I cannot wait till Vertigo is gone and we get train. If they leave Vertigo in and replace any other map with train, I'm going to flip my fucking lid.
Yeah, bro. Me when I flip my lid.
I'm gonna fucking explode, cunt. I want it gone so. I hate Vertigo so much. Everybody hates Vertigo, except some of my friends, they for some reason love Vertigo, but they're all Valorant players, and I think it's because it's the most just like aim map. It doesn't require any strategy because like nades are already hard enough to throw on it, so they're just like walking into an angle and trying to shoot head. Also, they don't win on it; they lose every single time. But they for some reason love Vertigo. But I've had to convince them that it's now a permaban, somewhat successfully.
I'm not a big fan of Inferno.
Would you prefer to play Vertigo or Inferno if you had to?
I prefer to kiss your ass.
No, go on. Which one would you prefer to play?
Inferno. Probably.
Thank you.
But then it like tanks my frames, so I don't know.
Inferno tanks your frames? A GPU running your cup?
Inferno is one of the worst when it comes to frames optimization. Maybe they fixed it slightly. I don't remember.
It's fine for me.
Oh, good for you, babe.
Oh, the problem I have more so is when the game like hitches when you shoot someone in the head in pistol rounds. That pissed me off so much. They haven't fixed that one yet. That one's going to take another year.
True.
We love CS.
Oh, jeez.
I think we're done here.
I think I'm going insane.
FlyQuest losing in the fashion that they did has broken your brain as well.
Morty, Australian CS is going to come back, Morty. You just have to believe, Morty. They have to kick the FlyQuest. They got to kick Alistair.
We really got to go. He's bringing back Justin Roiland.
Oh, jeez, Rickle.
They need to contact you next time Rick and Morty voice actor has a controversy.
True, guys, hit me up for voice acting at www.voiceacting.com.
Actually, hit him up for casting if you need someone to cast your event.
Hey, we've got big things to discuss after the episode. I got a big offer. Big offer. I can't talk about.
Wait.
Maybe this gets cut out.
Private dealings. Leave the room, son. Me and your dad have got a bloody talk about some business.
All right,
but
guys, we're gonna go jerk each other off. See you. See you.
thanks for listening to the most unhinged episode of Dad and Unc yet. Tune in next week when we will be the most sane we've ever been, because we'll be discussing the outcomes of elimination stage and
We're
who's
gonna
going to the
be-
grand final.
We're gonna be suit and tie. Gonna be classy. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We're going to dress up for sure. It's going to be our first webcam episode. Probably not. Maybe.
See you guys.
Maybe.
Love you.
Bye-bye.